Hey folks, welcome back to episode 4 of our Thanksgiving extravaganza. Guys, today we're going to be making Brussels sprouts, but we're going to be making them 2 different ways. Oftentimes, guys, it gets a little bit boring because they're always just kind of on the table with some salt and pepper, and that's basically it. So I'm going to show you 2 really easy ways to make these, and they will go perfect for that Thanksgiving meal. Now, guys, if you've enjoyed any of this Thanksgiving series, guys, please feel free to hit that like, subscribe, or of course that little dinner bell thingy so you can know when the next video hits the old YouTube universe. Now, I promise this will be very short and sweet, guys. It will also be extremely delicious and go really well with anything else you'll be serving during Thanksgiving. But as always, before we get into the ingredients, guys, B-roll. Alright folks, so with that beautiful B-roll out of the way, let's get to the ingredients. And yes, this is going to be a very short list. So on the top of that list, of course, is Brussels sprouts. Now these are very green, robust, and pretty tasty, but you're going to want to go ahead and grab yourself about 2 pounds. We're feeding about 6 or 7 people here. Again, you can make more if you like. Next, grab yourself some bacon, pepper bacon. Now this is thick cut bacon, as you can see. We're going to be using about 5 or 6 strips. Now this beautiful thick bacon is going to be resting right on top of our Brussels sprouts. For our second Brussels sprout dish, you're going to grab yourself some Parmesan cheese. Now this is the only real distinction, guys. One is going to be with Parmesan, the other one is going to be with bacon, but both have a high salt content, which is going to help us a lot with the flavoring. Now both sets of Brussels sprouts will have lemon, guys. Now this is one of our uglier lemons, but it's a lemon nonetheless, and you're going to go ahead and use the juice from this lemon to help break up some of that fat and saltiness, and of course brighten up the dish with a nice hit of acid. Next, you want to go ahead and grab yourself some garlic powder. On top of this, guys, all you need is some salt and pepper, and that's it. It's that simple, very few ingredients, like I said. So let's get to the prep. So go ahead and grab your Brussels sprouts, pull one out, and then go ahead and cut the bottoms off before cutting it in half. And guys, you'll see here that there's a small kind of core here and a lot of layers. Some people will tell you to cut the core out. You don't need to for this recipe. It's a lot simpler. So all that's left to do is repeat this process about 20, 30, or 200 more times until you have a nice large pile of cut Brussels sprouts. With that done, go ahead and grab yourself a large bowl, place your Brussels sprouts inside of it, go ahead and show off all your hard work to the camera, and then go ahead and coat this with some olive oil. Now, because some of the Brussels sprouts have bacon, we're going to use this fairly sparingly, but you want to make sure you evenly coat all of this. Naturally, the next step is to season with some kosher salt, followed by our wonderful garlic powder. Again, you could use fresh garlic cloves if you'd like, and then just give this a quick toss. So with the sprouts thoroughly coated, go ahead and grab your nearest baking tray and just transfer your Brussels sprouts into the tray. Now, because we have 2 Brussels sprout dishes, we're actually going to separate this into one larger and one smaller dish. Now, before that, we're going to want to top this with a bit of pepper and a nice bright hit from the acid of our lemon. So go ahead and squeeze that over and give this one more mix. With that done, you're going to go ahead and grab your thick strips of bacon and just lay them gently over top. Now again, guys, thick cut bacon is not mandatory for this. Obviously, thinner cut bacon will cook for less time. This also is pepper bacon, so keep that in mind. You can use whatever you like, but pepper bacon to me goes a long way and pairs really nicely. In our smaller tray, you're going to go ahead and place the rest of your Brussels sprout mixture, squeeze on some lemon, put a few twists of freshly cracked black pepper before getting onto the cheese. Now guys, for the cheese, again, you want to be pretty generous here because this is going to add a lot of that salty goodness, but also going to give us a nice melty, crispy Brussels sprout. So I do recommend thoroughly coating your sprouts. So all that's left then is to place our Brussels sprouts in our 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes. So after 20 to 25 minutes, you should be able to pull out your Brussels sprouts and have something that looks a little bit like this. Here you can see the Parmesan ones are nice and crispy. They have a nice coating, but we probably should have added a lot more parm. Would have given it more of a crunchy texture, but these are still quite delicious. And don't mind those darker bits, guys. Those are just some of the leaves that fell off and got very crispy. And speaking of crispy, it's time to grab our bacon Brussels sprouts out of the oven, and look at that. That is gorgeous. Super simple. The bacon is nice and crisp, and all that's left to do really is to cut this into more bite-sized pieces. So go ahead and stack your bacon and then give this a quick chop. Now, one of the benefits of thinner cut bacon, guys, is it will be even crispier than this. Now, I like thick cut bacon. It's what I had, but if you have thin cut bacon, this will also work very well. And don't forget to sample your products. sharing is okay too. Anyways, it's time to share this bacon on our Brussels sprouts. As you can see, guys, we have quite a bit of bacon, probably more than what we need for our Brussels sprouts, but can you really ever have too much bacon? To which the correct answer is, of course, no. Now, it's time to plate up our wonderful Brussels sprouts, guys, so go ahead and grab your most finest of dishes and begin to ladle in your Brussels sprouts into the dish. Now, you could add some fancy toppings if you want, but honestly, these just look good on their own. But I will say that I had left this in the oven for a bit longer because we could have had an even crispier dish if those Brussels sprouts had gotten a little bit more color. In any case, guys, these are delicious, and this is how you make Brussels sprouts 2 ways for your Thanksgiving meal. And with that, we're done. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. As always, thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. We will see you in the next one.